Fighting fires and saving lives endangered by fires. This is a job of the fire department. This is your job. To do this job efficiently and effectively, skill and speed are of the essence. To do this job, the use of ladders is essential. In gaining access to a building to rescue trapped persons, in operating a line from a ladder to fight fire, in bringing a line into a building via ladder, and to hoist a line to rooftops and other elevations via the ladder, this and more depend on your skill in handling all ladders, including the portable truss ladders which concern this film. Your effectiveness in doing this job is based on teamwork, knowing what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, all for the purpose of saving lives and fighting fire. Some of the more commonly used portable truss ladders are the 35-foot ladder, the 35-foot extension ladder, and the 25-foot ladder. No matter what their lengths, the nomenclature for each is the same. The sides of the ladders are called the beams. The curved or arched side of the beam is called the truss. The rungs or rounds are affixed to the beams by means of truss or spacer blocks. To prevent sliding or slippage, metal shoes are affixed to each end of the beams. These metal shoes are also called spurs or heel plates. We will now demonstrate the raising and placing of these ladders against a building. First, the 35-foot portable truss ladder. We will now demonstrate the first step, the raising of the 35-foot portable ladder. This is usually a four-man operation. The two men who butt the ladder are called buttmen. The butt end is that end of the ladder that will rest on the ground after the ladder is raised. The two men who raise the ladder are called raising men. The ladder has been placed on the ground parallel to building truss up with butt end just below objective. The buttmen place their feet on first rung of ladder, the ball part of feet on the bottom rung, and then squat, their hands grasping the third rung. The raising men face about 1/3 from the tip. They squat, each grasping the beam nearest him with his inside hand and lift ladder. They then turn into and under the ladder, their free hands on the beam, then move down towards the buttmen, their arms at a 45-degree angle, their bodies inclined toward the butt. The buttmen, pulling steadily, grasp successively higher rungs. As the ladder nears the vertical, each buttman steps back with foot nearest beam, keeping other foot on bottom rung. Each raising man places foot nearest his partner on same rung close to beam. All men look up a tip of ladder to keep it balanced. Each buttman places his hands on the nearest beam. Buttman and raising man nearest building each keep 1 foot on rung close to beam. Buttman and raising man farthest from building remove feet from rung and hold beam. Now these men tilt ladder slightly and turn it so that the truss side of ladder faces building. Remember, the pivot beam always is the one nearest building. And now the ladder is ready to be placed against the building. The raising man who turned the ladder replaces his foot. The buttman removes his foot, his hands remaining where they are. The raising men move their hands from the beams to grasp the rung that is shoulder high. As the raising men lower the ladder, the butt men move back slowly, feeling their way back with their feet. And moving back, keeping their eyes fixed on the raising men, the butt men allow the ladder to be placed against the building. If the ladder needs adjustment to the objective, the raising men take over. Each man takes position alongside of a beam. Their facing hands grasp the third rung, their outside hands grasp the beam nearest them at approximately shoulder level, and thus the tip of the ladder is properly adjusted to its objective. When a ladder is moved a short distance, one man takes a position at the side of ladder facing objective, nearest hand on beam, the other on truss side. The beam is pulled away from building. As the ladder is flipped, the nearer hand is placed on beam rotating towards building, the other placed on opposite beam. One foot is positioned on first rung to steady the ladder. Repeat till ladder faces objective. Raising men place feet in proper position. Raising men pull and butt men push ladder to vertical position. Each butt man replaces foot on ladder rung. The ladder now is in vertical position. To ascertain the proper distance of the butt of the ladder from the building, no matter what the length of the portable ladder, divide that length by 5 feet. Then to that result, add 2 feet. Giving you the proper distance in feet for the butt of the ladder from the building. Thus, length of ladder divided by 5 feet, to the result add 2 feet for the proper distance in feet of butt from building. The ladder in vertical position is ready to be carried. Now each butt man takes position to hold beam about head level with left hand and third rung with right hand. The raising man nearest direction ladder is to be carried takes position to guide the carrying men. The other raising man moves to center of ladder, holds center of rung above his head with inside hand palm down, grasping the third rung with other hand palm up. With the guide man on the alert for any obstructions, the ladder is ready to be carried. In carrying, the men on the beams lift slightly while the man on the rungs balances the ladder. All men keep their eyes on the tip of the ladder. And the ladder is placed against the building in the prescribed manner. The ladder now is ready to be brought to a vertical position and pivoted reversely. The ladder is pivoted. Each butt man places 1 foot nearest partner on bottom rung and with both hands holds rung shoulder high, allowing ladder to lean towards raising men. As soon as the ladder lowers toward the raising men, each butt man puts his ground foot in position on the bottom rung. The hands of the butt men move progressively down the rungs. As the raising men lowering the ladder walk backwards, grasping the beams of the ladder. The men lowering the ladder step out 1/3 the distance from the tip and they reverse position by turning around to face the tip of the ladder. The turn is made toward the ladder with the free hand grasping the truss and the men squat as they lower the ladder to the ground. The 35-foot extension ladder is composed of 2 parts, the bed approximately 20 feet in length and the fly which can be extended up from the bed to a length of 35 feet. This is a 3-man operation, 1 butt man and 2 raising men. The ladder always is placed on the ground with the fly on the top side. Remember, the butt man always stands on the bottom rung, his hands grasping the third rung, and the raising men start at approximately 1/3 the distance from the tip and raise the ladder to the vertical as demonstrated with the 35-foot ladder. With the ladder at vertical, it is pivoted in the usual way and turned with the fly now facing the building. During this action, all men look up to the tip of ladder to maintain ladder in balanced position. The ladder now is ready to be extended. All men move one position to their right, counterclockwise. Thus, the man who turned the ladder is the one who will extend the fly. Let's call him the fly man. The fly man frees the rope for action. He pulls downward on the rope, thus extending the fly upward to a required height. Notice that the other two men keep their hands well away from the rungs in order not to be bitten by the dog. Watch out for that dog. It is important to note that this ladder is held differently from other ladders. Each man grasps the nearest opening on the beam side of the bed ladder above his head with his left hand, and on the same beam with their right hands the nearest opening at waist level. When the fly is extended to desired height, the ladder is lowered towards the building. This is done by assuming the original standing positions. The raising men guide by the rung shoulder high. When the ladder is positioned, the fly man, when feasible, ties the rope. This should be centered on a convenient rung to keep the rope in place. When taking the ladder down, the entire action is in reverse. It is brought away from wall to a vertical position. The fly man unties the rope and, releasing the dogs from the rung, now lowers the fly. Remember, watch out for that dog. The fly lowered into the bed, the rope is secured by tying it off around the third rung of the bed ladder and the fly. The ladder now is pivoted in reverse order and lowered to the ground. The 25-foot ladder is a two-man operation, one man to butt, one man to raise. As with the other two ladders, the butt man places the balls of his feet on the bottom rung, his hands grasping the third rung. The raising man starts his operation at approximately 1/3 down from the tip, facing the tip. As he picks up the ladder with the hand nearest beam, he turns and pivots into and under the ladder, facing the butt man. His free hand grasps the opposite beam, the beam hand on the adjacent beam, and thus he moves down towards the butt man, completing the operation of raising the ladder to vertical position. With the ladder in vertical position, the butt man's foot closest to the building is on the ground, the other foot placed on the rung nearest the objective. The butt man pivots, the raising man turns the ladder so that the truss faces the building. Now the butt man removes his foot and the raising man places his foot on the first rung. As the raising man butts the ladder, the other man lowers it against the building. When taking the ladder down, the entire action of raising the ladder, turning the ladder, and lowering it against the building now is carried out in reverse. Always remember that the distance of the butt of the ladder from the building is obtained by dividing the length of the ladder by 5 and adding to that result 2, which supplies you the total distance in feet that the butt of the ladder is from the building. Remember, the operation of raising the portable truss ladders and placing them against the building should be done in one continuous operation. Remember, the lives of people waiting for rescue depend on your skill, your speed, and your teamwork in this vital operation.